Good morning. My name is Sara Forrest, and it is my pleasure to be your worship associate this morning. I love going camping. I love it for all the reasons you might think: getting out in nature, the opportunity to unplug, time for adventure. But one thing I really love about camping is the getting ready part. I enjoy laying it all out, evaluating, packing, reevaluating, Tetris game, getting things down to the bare essentials. I like having to really consider what I'm going to take with me. It makes me see those things in a new light, one that is suffused with gratitude. Ultimately, I love the feeling of freedom that I get when everything I need fits on my back as I set off on a journey. I also love to purge. Several years ago, I decided to finally pare down my book collection, which is a site of great sentimentality to me. It ended up being an emotional experience, and largely a positive one. Truly, it was fascinating and exhausting to examine the books I had been toting around through the different phases of my life. And I found I felt a release at letting things go. I felt relief when I finally admitted to myself that I wasn't going to reread my college textbooks. My heart thrilled at imagining the new eyes that would find books I had loved but hadn't looked at in years. I relished the opportunity to finally get rid of those books that look great on a shelf, impress others, but I'd never actually read. I'm looking at you, Ulysses. Looking at what was left behind, I felt unburdened. It was a clarifying process, one that created space for new books and learning. One of my favorite people was my best friend's father, Rick, who I called my faux pas. He was officially a character, and he led a life characterized by what I would call shedding. He'd been a lawyer, a go-go dancer, a printmaker, a construction worker, and a photographer. In his one life, he led many lives. And by the time I knew him, he was well on his way to mastering the art of traveling light. He used to tell me that his goal was to work down to one key, a key to home or car. His values were connection to his family and adventure. At the time of his death last year, he'd met that goal. And when he died, I imagined him soft shoe dancing out of that room, ready to face the next great adventure, totally free. The one key mantra had kept him focused on what was most important to him. These fragments of my life and memories came to me in my contemplation of our fire communion, because this ceremony is about letting go. I love the feeling of release that comes from setting something down. But what I really appreciate is the opportunity to be intentional about what I want to keep. Much like packing for a trip, this is a time to be very clear about what we want to take with us into this new year. This is a time to burn away the detritus that may be separating us from ourselves, from our loved ones, or from our sense of wholeness. We are letting go, but we are also holding on to the true things, to the most necessary things, to the things that will serve as guideposts as we enter the unknown of the year to come.
Our reading today is from the poet Amanda Gorman's New Days lyric. May this be the day we come together. Morning we come to mend, withered we come to weather, torn we come to tend, battered we come to better. Tethered by this year of yearning, we are learning that though we weren't ready for this, we have been readied by it. We steadily vow that no matter how we are weighed down, we must always pave a way forward. This hope is our door, our portal. Even if we never get back to normal, someday we can venture beyond it to leave the known and take the first steps. So let us not return to what was normal, but reach toward what is next. What was cursed, we will cure. What was plagued, we will prove pure. Where we tend to argue, we will try to agree. Those fortunes we forswore, now the future we foresee. Where we weren't aware, we are now awake. Those moments we missed are now the moments we make. The moments we meet, and our hearts, once all together beaten, now all together beat. Come, look up with kindness yet, for even solace can be sourced from sorrow. We remember not just for the sake of yesterday, but to take on tomorrow. We heed this old spirit in a new day's lyric. In our hearts we hear it. For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne. Be bold, sang time this year. Be bold, sang time. For when you honor yesterday, tomorrow ye will find. Know what we fought need not be forgot, nor for none. It defines us, binds us as one. Come over, join this day just begun. For wherever we come together, we will forever overcome. My friends, when I titled this homily, Keep the Flame Burning, I truly did not mean the dumpster fire. I meant the small tendings of joy. Eating a good meal, laughing with a friend, hugging someone you love, looking at art or nature or even a stained glass window and finding beauty, petting a cat or a dog, cooing at a baby, reading a good book. All of these things build resilience, and resilience is what gives us the strength to keep going. I know that the winter solstice is the time that the light returns, but I also know that sometimes it does not return quickly enough for our tastes. Talk to me when the sun sets after 6 p.m. Melissa Kirsch wrote for the New York Times yesterday that the original Roman calendar had 10 months, starting with March and ending with December. What we call now January and February were an unnamed expanse of dark days useless to the agricultural and military concerns of the state, which would recommence when the weather improved. Now, she writes, we stuff January with expectation, our hopes and dreams for a newer, better us. Mark Twain said of this practice, now is the accepted time to make your annual, regular, good resolutions. Next week, you can begin paving hell with them as usual. Several years ago, I stopped making conventional resolutions, and instead, I try to choose a word or two to represent an intention for the year. The last few years, it's been more joy. A few times, my intention has been to buy more art, not the expensive stuff, but instead of buying, a gift from Target, go buy something from Saturday Market or Crafty Wonderland. We have a tiny art wall as you enter our house filled with random treasures. It makes us smile. Melissa Kirsch from the New York Times also chooses a word. This last year, hers was abbondanza, an Italian word meaning plenty or abundance. This year, I think my word for the year is attention. I am pretty good at paying attention to beauty in the world. I have a well-developed sense of awe and wonder. And I do a pretty good job of paying attention to the people in front of me. But I am also finding myself spending way too much time on my phone in ways that aren't helpful. I want to exercise my attention span this year. More books, less scrolling. Sara inspired me, and I think it's not a resolution, but I am going to make an effort to read 50 books I own and haven't read yet. It will not be hard. Maybe even I will give myself the chance to be intentionally bored. In a few minutes, we will do our annual ritual of writing down something that we would like to let go of. A habit that's harming us, a grudge that isn't serving us. Who have we faced with anger and they haven't accepted it and it has just landed back on us? Maybe we need to let that go. Maybe a way of looking at the world that isn't helpful. And again, because I'm not a fan of conventional resolutions that focus on what we need to get rid of, 20 pounds or watching too much television or whatever, we will also have rocks to take to mark intentions in a way we'd like to focus on instead. Framing intentions in a positive way is a better way to make changes. Don't deny yourself food, embrace movement. Focus on doing something fun as a family. Make plans with a friend every week. Figure out what you are missing and think about one concrete way you can add more of that to your life. This will not be everyone's answer, but in a year that involved a lot of sadness and loss for my family, adopting a pair of kittens was absolutely the best move we made all year. Even if it did take me 20 minutes to write that particular paragraph because one of them was climbing all over me. I invite you in the next few minutes to choose something you'll be better off letting go of. Write it down, and then we'll make a line and come up to the chalice. It's flash paper in your hands. There are pencils in front of you. If you just put it in there, it will poof and burn. It will not burn you. If you are afraid of doing that, that's okay. Sara is brave and will help you. And then I also invite you to choose something you would like to focus on and embrace it. Choose a word and write it on your calendar on the first of every month as a reminder. Set a phone alarm for once a month. Check in and see if you're still on track. Pull towards the good, my friends. Towards joy and hope and love. May it be so.